Hey guys, this is a slightly different kind of writing video than I normally do, and this one's way more about like mentality. So I'm not sitting on the chair. Oh, I am sitting on a chair, but not the chair. So I had this thought this morning because I get so many messages about making videos on how to fix like a problem, and there is a common thread in the messages, and the thread is not like I want to get better at writing. The thread is like a heavy shame and like a sadness of failure. Um, like I have this failure and I need to fix this failure. And I just want to point out that there's nothing wrong with you. If you have a writing flaw, writing is extremely difficult. It takes a long time to master your body and to make it do the things that it really was not naturally designed to do. We're designed to walk around on the ground on our own 2 feet. We're not evolved to sit up on a flight animal that can run and buck you off, right? I think it's really, really important to drive home that the intent of getting better at riding should be one of curiosity, of wonder, of interest. And I'm a huge fan of self-discipline and taking responsibility for oneself. But I never hope that people feel ashamed and like they're failing. Everybody's body is different. Everybody's experience is different. Everybody's interest in how far they go with this is different. And so if you are struggling with a writing flaw, that just means you're human in a body. You know, I have plenty of writing flaws that I work on, and I have thankfully through a lot of good instruction become more curious about my body instead of, I watch videos of myself riding and cringe just like anybody else. I don't love watching myself ride. I find every flaw, but I've learned to reframe my perspective to curiosity and interest. Like, what can I do with this body as my instrument versus, oh, gross, look at my leg. Oh, gross, look at my hand. And, I have a lot of experience of looking at videos of myself, and so it gets easier with the right mentality. But I just really want to drive home today that you are a human in a body having a human experience with your own unique individual life. It's different from mine. It's different from the next person. And if you're curious about your writing experience versus ashamed of your flaws, that just opens the whole world up. And it doesn't matter how old you are or how young you are or how experienced you are or how inexperienced you are or what your last instructor told you or what shame has been driven into you about your own personal failures. The stories that you tell yourself or that other people tell about you may or may not be true. That's for you to decide. You get to decide what you do with your instrument of a body. And yes, we all have our personal limitations. Some of them are true, some of them are stories, right? That's for you to decide. And so as you go about learning to ride, don't think about perfection. It's about how you learn to operate your human body instrument and get it to cooperate and create art with a horse body as an instrument. And then the two things come together and they create a unique work of art every single moment. And so, yes, there are, correct biomechanics of horse and human body. And yes, there is a training progression that is a philosophy that is pretty well laid out, right? But every single moment is unique. And so if you're thinking through a box of like, am I good or am I bad? Is this right or is this wrong? Then you miss the art, because there's a lot of cool stuff that happens outside those lines. And if you, my point is that you're not good or bad. You're not right or wrong. You are a body that is exploring how to be integrated into another body, which is a work of art and magic of itself. And so if you take the perspective of curiosity, interest, wonder, learning, growth, then that makes a huge, huge difference in your ability to connect into what is the lesson of the moment without using it to just stab yourself in the heart with. And that's the one thing that I am so grateful to have learned, and I hope I can pass on, is you're never going to get good at this art if you use every lesson as a proof of your own failure and shame. And so my hope with making these little videos is to help get you thinking, to help give you something to get some insight in, like, why do you have XYZ difficulty, right? But it's not like, oh, you're a crappy writer because, right? So the mindset is just so important. And if you think of writing as an art, then there is no bad art. There's an art that I like and art that I don't like as much, but who can tell what's art and what's not? That's for the viewer to decide. That's for the artist to decide. That's for each individual. So you get to make that call today. What kind of art are you going to make today? And you get better at art. You get more creative with your art. You get more fluent in your art as you learn the skill. But there's no such thing as bad art, because each piece that you make progresses onto your next thing. So if you're a painter, your early pieces are what helped jump you to your latest pieces, and you're never really going to be satisfied with your pieces because you're always improving. So hopefully that was a helpful message for you today. Just approach this day, if you ride today, with curiosity about your body as an instrument, and don't try immediately to label things as good or bad, and just see where that takes you.